Hi, welcome to the NAB Show New York studio here in New York City. I'm Claire Plaisted, and today I'm joined by Chris Bown, Executive Vice President and Managing Director, Global Connections and Events at NAB Show, and Curtis LeGeyt, President and CEO at NAB. Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So it's been a fantastic show so far. What's pleased you most about NAB Show New York this year?
Well, I think just top line, to the degree that there has been a remaining question about this community's desire to be back in person, to engage with one another, and really to see the technological innovation going on that is going to help content creators, broadcasters compete in this media landscape. This show has put it to rest. I mean, the energy here on the show floor has been incredible. The programming sitting alongside the show, both on the video and audience side, all the way from C-level leadership down to real implementation, has just been fantastic. So many programs sold out. We just couldn't be more pleased with the degree to which this has brought the NAB show community together.
Yeah, and I would echo that. I mean, it's certainly the numbers. I mean, we, as Curtis said, we weren't completely sure what to expect, but I would say by pretty much any way you would measure it, this would exceed our expectations. It's looking like we're going to end up with somewhere around 9,500 registrants just on our side.
Wow. Doesn't
include the AES side. AES will add another 6,000 or 7,000 to that. So over the course of 2 days, 15,000, 16,000 total registrants. It ultimately, and oddly enough, is probably one of the best we've had ever. So coming back and seeing it this way is just, really, really great feeling. And also, as Curtis said, just to see people just excited to be here. So much activity, so much energy. It was a really busy and fun day yesterday.
Yeah, live events are definitely back, aren't they?
Yeah.
So what plans does NAB have for NAB Show New York in the future?
Well, I mean, this show, New York is such a vibrant market and, constantly evolving and continues to evolve. There's so much more happening here on the production side of the equation. New facilities going in all the time. Digital continues to grow here. So from that standpoint, you're going to see us, continue to push the show out into, in particular, those digital areas. There's also related communities here that are really interesting. For example, the photography side of the equation is another one that, kind of blends and bleeds, certainly, with the manufacturer piece of what we do. That's important. The audio side, with AES as well, I think can continue to grow. Beyond that, the other aspect of this is we really want this event, the focus and the theme this year is around implementation. And so what we want that to mean as far as people coming to the show is that when they come here, they're actually hands-on, they're digging into today's problems, and they're finding solutions, and they're working directly with their key suppliers to work through all of that. Doesn't mean there isn't still some discussion about the future. I mean, everybody wants to talk about that as well, but I mean, this is really about, so we are going to be building in new aspects, that actually help facilitate that kind of dialogue.
Right.
May or may not include matchmaking programs, additional meeting areas where we can allow people to get together, facilitate that kind of discussion. We've done well this year with networking, but we need to build more of that in as well, because we have so many, kind of groups, subgroups within the community that really want and need to get together. So there's a great opportunity to facilitate that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I would double down on Chris's last point there. One of the things that Las Vegas is great for is envisioning what this industry looks like in the future and ensuring that the community is thinking far ahead. But this is a competitive media landscape, and before you can get to that, we understand that our community needs to implement these solutions today. And so to the degree that this show can be focused on, really time-sensitive solutions that people can take back to their businesses, whether it's on the storytelling, content creation side, the distribution side, or the revenue side, and really implement change tomorrow. We understand that's what a lot of our community is looking for, and that's a huge expansion opportunity here in New York. You've also got this broader audience, even beyond content, which is we've got Madison Avenue here, we've got Wall Street. There is all of which has a major nexus to this industry. I think this show is in its infancy relative to what this community can look like in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great point.
Absolutely. So the success of this event sets high expectations for NAB Las Vegas. What can we expect next year?
Huge things, obviously. I mean, yes. We certainly, we're looking to this show to get, a bit of a barometer on what we might expect going into 2023. This is a great signal for us, I think, and indicates that there is a lot of momentum. As Curtis mentioned, obviously people are coming back to shows, appreciating the value of what face-to-face does. So we certainly expect to grow in 2023. We had about 950 exhibitors at the April show this year. I would expect that we'll be, pushing 1,200, if not more, in next April.
Right.
So the footprint will grow. We're going to continue to build on the themes that we set down in 2022, which were built around, our new content pillars. So, create, connect, capitalize, and then intelligent content. And so what you're going to see is sort of a doubling down on that and a bit more content tied behind each one of those pillars. So, we're continuing on a path that I think we received a lot of good feedback about, and making sure that we're just delivering, curating more of what's happening. So, because this industry, as we've said multiple times, is just changing so rapidly. That more and more, we can't just open the doors and hope people will come in and figure stuff out. There's a lot of complexity in it. We've got to help people navigate what that all is, not just where to go, what to look at, but what it means ultimately in the long run.
Putting context, for sure. Do you have anything to add?
Well, I think Chris covered it. I think if there's a secondary takeaway from this show, it's that shows are back on the ascendancy here, and so we expect big things from Las Vegas in April. When we came out this spring of Las Vegas, I think there were still some remaining questions as to whether just the demand was there for two separate trade shows. We were coming out of the latest COVID variant. Businesses were grappling with some macroeconomic issues. So this is a very clear statement to me that there is huge demand, and I expect that's going to be reflected in April as well.
Yeah.
If I could just add, there are a couple of new elements that we're planning now and building out.
Okay.
One is a cine-related effort or filmmaking-related effort tied to a broader industry program that we put in place. We've been working with a consortium of companies in LA and the Hollywood community in particular to kind of understand what more NAB could do to help that side of the business. What additional educational opportunities can we build? And so we've actually carved out a good size area on the show floor in our central hall. We're going to call it Cine Central. And there'll be both an indoor and an outdoor aspect of that. And this will have as well a hands-on aspect to it. We're partnered with the American Society of Cinematography again this year, but now expanding what they did with us last year and bringing now some training programs hands-on on the floor, also with ACE, American Cinematographers, American Cinema Editors. And so, now trying to partner with those groups that really live and breathe in LA and are bringing, that kind of state-of-the-art, craft work to the show, so people have a chance to actually learn from, kind of the masters in the business. So that'll be an important new aspect. We're also going to, in the intelligent content area, be kind of diving a bit into a buzzy thing, which is a metaverse. And, looking to build out programming around that as well. Hopefully help people make sense of what that is and what it looks like and what it will look like, and what the business opportunities are around it. Yeah.
Well, you've already touched on my next question, which is both NAB shows have a job to keep the industry informed and appraised. Are there any other areas that you can see in the future for where we can look at new technology developments and in the longer term?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, which side of the business you tend to focus on, where your interests are. But everything is evolving so rapidly. Obviously, we we spent a lot of time over the last couple of years focused on virtual production, remote production. That continues to be a critical piece of the equation and continues to evolve. We were excited to have a number of virtual production screens on the show floor at NAB, which are just fantastic.
They're amazing to see,
really open up the possibilities of what people can do, and we'll see more of that coming as well, because that's not going away. I mean, there have been some elements that have returned to the way, in particular live content's shot and produced, but obviously there's been great learning that people have been able to capitalize on, and they'll continue to do so. It's going to reflect how things continue to kind of evolve, as we know, from this hardware world that we've been in to this now more software-driven universe that we all operate in now.
Yeah. Let me also add from the broadcast side, which I think really creates demand for all of the various elements of innovation that Chris just spoke to. You've got two major things happening, one on the television side, one on the audio side. Now, on the television side, the broadcast industry is investing in deploying a new broadcast standard, ATSC 3.0, which is an entirely new transmission that allows for new interactive capabilities with the viewer through an over-the-air signal. It allows for new monetization opportunities, to the degree that you've got content embedded alongside the linear signal. There's just a lot that broadcasters are experimenting with right now, and all of it really creates a need to see how can you best maximize this viewer experience? How can you capitalize on it when it comes to your business partners, your advertisers? And in terms of production, the content that's going to be accessible to that audience, it opens up a whole new world. So I think broadcasters are really focused right now on how to do that most efficiently. The point on cloud-based production couldn't be more relevant for a local broadcast station who is boots on the ground doing live productions day in, day out. Obviously, there's a sports component. So I think the demand is really there from a core piece of our community, which is television broadcasters. And on the radio side, it's all about the connected car, that screen-driven experience that radio now represents on the dashboard. Is something that every radio station in this country is grappling with, how to create a collective product that is on par with a Sirius XM, a Spotify, a Pandora. And so all of these innovations, I think, are really driving so many of the pieces you see around the show flow here, certainly in Vegas.
And we have Curtis's car actually out in the lobby demonstrating some of that cool auto tech, beautiful Mercedes that we're all going to want to take home. But
I love it. You live what you preach. That's great.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right.
So looking forward 3 to 5 years, what developments can we expect from NAB?
Well, on the NAB side, we just spoke to, I think, where the industry is in terms of some transitions. Right. And, the media landscape right now, I don't need to tell you, I don't need to tell our audience, is so competitive that what I think you're going to see from NAB is a real commitment to giving our membership the tools they need to compete in that environment. From a broadcast perspective, our competitive advantage is local. Right, and doubling down on trusted information, doubling down on bringing communities together, having the ability, not just through your traditional linear offering, but through all the ways that trusted personalities are touching local communities, whether it's through podcasts, whether it's through blogs, whether it's through a stream. There's just so many ways that we need to be ever present in communities if we want to compete with these streaming giants and really carve out a niche for local broadcast. So I think you're going to see the association continue to put a focus on that and how we can give our membership the tools to compete beyond just their traditional offerings. And frankly, that is what these shows are doing. Not just from an innovation perspective here on the show floors, but when it comes to bringing people together in person to share ideas, to talk about the direction the marketplace is heading. No better place to do it than here in New York and then in Las Vegas in the spring.
Yeah, and I would just, from a NAB show brand perspective, we're going to continue to look for ways that we can stay connected to and keep the industry connected within itself year round. We launched back at the beginning of 2021 a new digital platform called NAB Amplify. And that is really meant to be a platform that all the folks that come to the NAB shows have the opportunity to connect with, plug into a lot of good content. Ultimately, we're going to build out networking features with that and product discovery opportunities. So we'll have that opportunity to stay connected to the industry. We're also looking at other ways we can do that. So that in the future, over the 3 to 5 year span, could be additional events in either markets here in the States, even perhaps markets overseas. So events is something we know how to do. We have a great team that's able to do that. So there's opportunities there. There's also opportunities for us on the research and data side. So we're going to continue to explore those opportunities, and as it makes sense, we'll introduce them and continue to grow them as it makes sense for the industry.
Great. So finally, this is the last day of NAB Show New York. Do you have any message to the exhibitors and to the attendees at the show here?
Well, for me, I just want to say thank you. I mean, obviously, it's so important, to have the support of not only just our members, but the industry as a whole to come and participate in these events. Obviously, this doesn't work unless we've got a great lineup of exhibitors that are bringing, great tech, great ideas, and are coming ready to dig in and talk about those day-to-day problems. So, certainly appreciate that. Thank you for hanging with us through a tough couple of years here, and appreciate you coming back. And we're just excited because we appreciate that support, love the energy, and we feed off of that and can do a lot of great things with it going forward. So Curtis, I'm sure you've got other thoughts as well.
I think you captured the thank you, and I just think it is abundantly clear this was a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Las Vegas was as well. Of you build it, you want to bring the community in to attend, but they need to know that the leaders from a technology perspective will be here exhibiting. The exhibitors had faith in us that we could deliver the community, and this proves that Chris and his team did it. And that's what I hope the biggest takeaway is here. I know there have been a lot of questions. Certainly, we've had a lot of questions as to what the art of the possible looked like as we planned the parameters for this event, as we're looking forward to Las Vegas. From my perspective now, the sky's the limit, and I think this will reinstill the trust that what we're building here, there is a demand for. So come be a part of this. There's no other show like it, and I think there's no question we're delivering tremendous value to the entire NAB show community.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio and talking to me today.
Oh, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.